So sometimes you just can't fix stupid. In this next news, I saw this yesterday and I was like, I got to post about this. And you know what? Let's just dive right into it. Sony is is confirmed that they are remaking their Spider-Verse. You know, that is Venom and Madam Web and Morbius and Craven. Those were all movies that they created under the Spider Verse, and now they want to remake their Spider Verse. Let's take a look. All right, so this is coming from comicbookmovie.com. It says Sony boss confirms live action Spider Verse will be rebooted after previous box office flops. So Sony Pictures partnered with Marvel Studios in 2015 to bring Spider-Man into the MCU, starting with Captain America: Civil War. With the web slinger's popularity on the rise, Sony decided to move forward with its own Spidey adjacent projects, starting with Venom in 2018. So the movie bombed with fans and critics, but made 856.1 million worldwide. I actually dug Venom for a film without one of my favorite Spider-Man characters to not have Spider-Man in it. I actually dug Venom. Anyways, the sequels Venom Let There Be Carnage and Venom The Last Dance gross less 506.8 million and 478.9 million respectively, but were still moderate hits. Outside of the Lethal Protector, Sony found little success. Morbius made only 167.5 million. Madam Web, which I can't even make myself watch, followed with 100.5 million. And Craven the Hunter was the biggest flop of the lot with a mere 62 million. Shortly after the movie's release at the end of 2024, we heard that Sony had shelved all its live action spin offs to focus on Spider Man Beyond the Spider Verse and Spider Man Brand New Day. Talking on The Town with Matt Belloni, uh, sorry. Sony CEO Tom Rothman was asked if the studio will go back to the live action Spider Verse, to which he responded, yes. When it was put to him that it would be a fresh reboot, the executive once again replied with a brief yes. A reoccurring issue with the movies listed above was the involvement of producers Avi Arad and Matt Tolmach. Depending on how Spider Noir is received, is received later this year, it's easy to imagine Phil Lord and Christopher Miller being tasked with hitting the reset button on the franchise. Rothman also commented briefly on the long wait for Spider-Man Brand New Day, noting the scarcity has value. You've got to make the audience miss you. He added, I'll just tell you this. There are two people about whom I would say this, and maybe more if I think about it. But these are two that come to the top of my mind. Never bet against Jim Cameron and never bet against Kevin Feige. He knows what he's doing. I would agree. Pushed away in on Marvel Studios' recent struggles, Rothman said they've engaged course correction, less television. I think it was a television. Anyway, blah blah blah. So let's talk about the Spider Verse being rebooted. All right, so let's start with the problem with all this. Sony faces many issues, but two in particular. Even if you take away who was in charge of the flops prior to this reboot, let's take that out the picture. Two things. One, no one wanted this. Well, let me not speak for everybody because I hate when people say that. Let me say this. It wasn't that popular of an idea when it came out, announced that Sony was going to do this Spider Verse, right? Because you're taking some of Spider Man fans' beloved characters, enemies, even if they are enemies or bad guys, and making movies without Spider Man in them. So that's already a tough task, right? But you make Venom, and it was cool. But then after Venom, it was just bad film after bad film after bad film. And Sony never understood that no people weren't interested in seeing this. Instead, they just doubled down and kept making more and more Spider-Verse films. And they were all garbage. Well, not all garbage. they just weren't good. Craven had moments that I enjoyed, but it took me 4 times to watch that film because I kept falling asleep on it. Like I said, I have not even forced myself to watch Madam Web yet, but I need to because I hate hating a movie without seeing it, right? But the trailer sucked, the idea sucked. Now I'm just like, this is so stupid. But I need to watch it just so I can confirm how stupid it is. So the point I'm trying to make is the first issue is the audience has told Sony that these movies aren't it, right? But if you make a good movie, people will see it. But the problem is, which leads me to my second thing that Sony challenge that Sony has, is you can't use these characters because you blew it. Like, if Sony was to try to reboot Venom, I mean, it would have to be incredible for people to watch it because we got 3 Venom movies. And then on the third one, you introduce this really awesome bad guy that you do nothing with, like, and then you Craven film, Morbius, Madam Web, like you can't do that. So that means you're gonna go pick some other characters from the Spider-Man Rogue Gallery to destroy. I don't know, man. Sony, you didn't learn the lesson after Venom. You didn't learn the lesson after Morbius. You didn't learn the lesson after Madam Web. What makes us think you finally learned the lesson simply because some of the people who were involved in those crap movies aren't going to be involved in your reboot? Spider-Man or Spider Noir looks cool. I saw the trailer. I'm interested in it, and I hope it's good. I really do. And again, if it's good, it's good. I don't like the idea of Spider-Man villains without Spider-Man, but if you make a good movie, so be it. But Sony has yet to do that, and I think they should just take the L and let Marvel use all those characters in the same way that they're using Spider-Man, or make these movies with Spider-Man in them. And of course, obviously that requires a lot of back and forth between the two companies, but I don't think Sony should touch any more Spider-Man content. Just give it to Marvel and let Marvel do what it do, and y'all just make money off of it. Sit back, make the money while Marvel makes the films, and focus on the animated Into the Spider-Verse films, because you knocked it out of the park with those two. But good Lord, the Spider-Verse thing, let it go, y'all. I'm sorry. But, again, I don't want to sound like a hitter. They might kill it, but I have no faith in this at all. What do you all think? Did you like any of the Spider-Verse films? Like, some of them had moments. Even Morbius had moments. Don't kill me on the comments with it, but they had moments, but it wasn't good. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Do me a favor. If you like the content, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe. And hit that little alarm button as well so you can get alerted whenever I post new content. And also, do me a favor, share with other people who you think would like this content as well. We have a big goal of 1,000 subscribers we're trying to get to, and we need your help. Appreciate it. Till the next one. Peace.